All right, a conversation with Kid Kapichi.
Hello, mate.
Well. What a double fucking bonus.
Hey. Two for the price of one.
Exactly right.
It's so good to see you again, Ben. Eddie, to meet you for the first time. Hello, lad. Good to see you.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Hello.
I was sort of like on the periphery last time when you were doing it, so I feel like we've met.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
How are you, man? You all good?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm so excited. This is yet another fucking ridiculous record from you. I'm just going to adjust what you look like on my setup here.
Thank you very much, man.
Your beautiful faces are there. No, I've got notes. I want to run through it track by track. I know we've got limited time. A, because I've got to go around the corner and put some fucking bananas on the shelf in 45 minutes. And B, because you've been doing this, I imagine, for the last 2-3 hours today, or what's it been like for you?
Indeed,
hours,
yeah. It's been a day. It's been a day. But we saved the best till last.
That's what I was going to say.
Saved the best till last. Mate, the digs are looking amazing, man. The room you're in is incredible.
Is that an aquarium?
Yeah, that's all Jody, my partner. Well, my job is to make sure the fish don't fucking die, which is
an important job.
It's all Jodie. Otherwise, my partner and her son Harley are just awesome and love that 70s aesthetic. Yeah, so I'm so just so excited yet again because firstly, when you think about it, 3 records in 3 years, it's pretty clear that there's not much sleep. I mean, just congratulations.
Well, that's it.
That's mad.
Definitely,
has it really been that?
Yeah,
quick?
it has. It has. Like, yeah, we work hard, man, and it's been exciting though. It's been like it's been a constant journey of like discovery and growth within that. So we've never not been kind of progressing and making new music. So it's been exciting.
I guess that makes sense because album 4 is getting written already. So it's on the treadmill, man, the hamster wheel, baby.
But then if you let the rust form, man, it kind of it fucks you over big time because like, you know, then you have to kind of start from scratch in terms of your mojo, your creative flow or whatever. And if you keep your foot in the water of that, then you just carry on kind of like being able to be adventurous. Do you know what I mean? Like certainly when the pressure's not on from time or whatever, like if you do your homework early and you're in that space where you can do whatever, you can fully be exciting, adventurous, and mate, that's usually when the singles get done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like in this record,
first
3 singles are the first 3 tracks we wrote because there's no pressure on you and you're just sort of able to do whatever, and that's probably the most exciting thing, or what some of the most exciting stuff you'll do. You know what I mean?
All right, let's go through. I haven't done this with you before. I mean, Eddie, we've never done this, even though you've been lurking in the background, sus. But I want to go through track by track, and I don't want to get too deep on it like I usually like to do because I want to make sure we cover all of these songs because this is a 10 out of fucking 10 Kid Kapichi record.
Bro.
Seriously, like this is Artillery I scoped on YouTube months ago when you were Nothing But Thieves on tour with them, right? You opened the set with that. And I was saying to Jody, like, where the fuck is this song? Like, where is this song? How do I not know why are they not even introducing this fucking song? Because Artillery, it's full of everything that I imagine and that what depicts Kid Kapichi. It's got confident swagger from a grounded bass. You've got stern modern day observation. You've got a sonic field that has so much low end in it that it washes over you like you're caught in a fucking storm in the ocean. Yet you can still breathe and bob up and you want more. Give me more. Like this is just a fucking Kid Kapichi punch to start the record.
That. That's fucking what a review. Thank you so much.
I think it's like a little step into like the way that we want things to be from this point. It's like, you know, this is the beginning. The first lyrics, here we go, first things first. It's like this is how it fucking is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's like I think that sonic stuff is definitely like it's been pushing into a sort of like Massive Attack meets Guy Ritchie kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like trying to move into that sort of like it nods to, you know, things that are British sounds like trip hop and, you know, like that kind of like those movies or whatever, but then brought into the fore or the freshness with the co-production of Dom Craig and John Gilmore, man, like both 2 incredible people who helped us articulate that record like no one else probably could have. Do you know what I mean?
We made that beat in a back of a really was it a travel lodge?
Yeah, it was a
shared room of a travel lodge. Yeah, I remember. Fucking sick.
Yeah, man.
Dom has really, I mean, he's just such a, because I interviewed Nothing But Thieves, must be 10 years ago when they first came to Vancouver and I was still in commercial radio before I left to do this, and always has had this very calm demeanor and you can just see the expanse in here. And we'll touch on this as we go through the record, but I'm loving the addition of more synthesizers, more play with that, but we'll get to that. But Artillery, you've hit the nail on the head there. Travel Lodge, great. Thanks for an overpaid night, Travel Lodge, but it brought about a song that might pay off the next one.
Yeah, quite.
Let's get to work. Again, this expands on the foundation that you've built as a band. It's the bread and butter Kid Kapichi sound. It's got the energy, it's got the attitude, and once again, it's got the Jack lyrics that just fucking get me howling with laughter. Tried to medicate me, but it didn't do much. But now I'm top brass, bubble bath, left them in the dust. And then remember, you're not a has-been, you're a Heinz-bean. That's just fucking legendary.
Yeah. That's it. It's
That's
a line.
It's a mantra, already, isn't it?
It's a mantra. But yeah, again, that was another one that got written way early in the process, man. And it felt like like Eddie was saying, like, the kind of the sound that we'd cultivated past the rawness of first album, the sound that we cultivated on the second album, we wanted to build on that. And it felt like Let's Get to Work was the perfect first track to write that was the tinderbox for what this album became.
It was the first one we released as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, precisely.
It was the most like digestible from fans of album 2 without going too far, but also had like a distinct new thing about it.
Yeah, a lot more, like you say, like more synthesis within there, you know, bought a Moog sub 37 and we're definitely fucking around with that a lot. Do you know what I mean? So
I just like that it's just one riff. We're just sitting on one riff for the whole song. And I don't even know if people realize that, but it's like, well, you can get away with it when it's so much unwritten stuff bubbling over the top. And like you say, with Jack's like great vocals.
The top line on there, man, exactly.
That is kind of the secret hidden agenda on this record, is the simplicity of the riffs. Like, I've got that. We'll get 7 or 8 more tracks from now. I was going to focus on you, Eddie, and how, because I wrote down, like, it's no surprise that you're constantly dancing, because you guys find it, you stay with it, and you let the story be told in other ways. You don't necessarily need to change the composition line of where the guitar's going. If you've got something that's good and it's matching with the melodies, then keep rolling. And that's not the only song that this record does that with. Is there a few others? It feels like there's a few others that keep it. Maybe one like, change.
I think that approach as well.
Tamagotchis mainly one riff cooking through it, isn't it? And Artillery as well. And off the top of my head, it's we, like you say, let's just, if we find a nice pocket and a nice groove to sit on, then why stray away from it, man? We like keeping people bopping.
And the vocal is sort of the percussive element that keeps that simplicity and that driving riff. It keeps it fresh because of the way the vocal sits on it, makes it feel different each time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. But I'm realizing, because I'm so energized to speak to you guys again. Let's just take a minute here, because 6 hours of this. What did you?
We're good, man. We feel fresh talking to you.
On, man.
I love your the way you look at things, man. It's nice. We're happy to talk. This is great.
It definitely is. It's conversation.
I appreciate that. To sidestep what I was going to do, and that happens a lot, Eddie. What were you hoping to get asked today that you didn't get asked?
It's tough, man. I think it's just nice to be talking about this record that we have lived with for a long time, but now it's an exciting prospect that it will soon belong to the world, you know, and to be able to talk about that and to be able to discuss something that we're proud of, it has been good. I don't think there has really been that much, I don't know.
No, and it's just nice to talk about it, like you say, from a slightly more track by track musical point of view, rather than just like, what do you think about this that's going on right now? And do you know what I mean? It's nice.
Yeah, that's it. It's nice. Yeah,
I know how you guys feel, because I listened to what you told me on the album. Tamagotchi, because like this is the reason why I'm attracted to great music is authenticity. The reason why I fell in love with Kid Kapichi is the authenticity. The reason why we've built this connection the last 5 years, which is fucking nuts, is authenticity. Because I left the UK, I think, nearly 14 years ago, and we'll get to this in Subaru. I didn't realize those Subaru drivers have become such fucking nuisance, but a lot's changed
since you left, man. Like, basically, you too.
So I rely, like, you know, I'm from Malmesbury, which Richard Dyson took over and got rid of the school I went to and built his Dyson, you know, fucking Hoover's factory and everything. And we lived in Brighton, you know, a little bit, the Hastings connection, the seaside. Like, I'm relying on people like you and some others that are as expressive that I'll save names for now, that are telling me what's actually fucking going on the ground over there, as opposed to what might be otherwise said. But with Tamagotchi, summer holidays were the best part of my life, and that can never be I appreciate it, but it's never going to happen again. It was also pretty good. I went into teaching pretty quickly after finishing school, and those 2.5 years of getting paid for summer holidays and not getting called in to do summer camp, also best years of my life.
That's it. The novelty after you finish is definitely palpable. I guess it's like that thing though, isn't it? It's like the stage we're at in life where we're sort of like turned 30 or like approaching 30 is like, it is quite a reflective time. And, you know, like that nostalgia of that mood is encapsulated in that song. And I think a lot of people will obviously relate to that because they're things everybody experienced. But I think also a lot of people will relate to the idea of reflection at that stage in life and looking back on the last 15, 20 years of your life from a child to, you know, becoming, you know, what feels like, I don't know, like we feel like turning 30 is a milestone, which you're officially a grown up. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, when you're 40, you probably think that 30 was a kid, and when you're 50, you think 40 was a kid or whatever. But it's the first time you're really reflecting on time gone by in that way, you know?
It was just an amazing snapshot. I mean, I think 7 years old. I'm 37 on April 6th, and everything in there, it ticks the boxes for me. I played the Tamagotchi on the bus to school. I watched Cat Dealey at the weekend. Like it's the same. And even it's that 10-year snapshot window before tech really accelerated into the next stage of connection. And I feel like that's why we can overlap late 30s, early 30s, or late 29s.
I feel like we were kindly like blessed to be in that era as well, because
I agree.
Like, we understand the internet, obviously. We're not idiots, and we get all of these new gadgets and stuff. But like, we were out on our bikes and like kicking about on skateboards and shit. We weren't just like glued to iPads and that. So
it came at the right time for us.
We feel kind of blessed,
Social media sort of dropped at around 15, 16, so you kind of
we were developed by that point, not just created by it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a great point, big time, Eddie. But that's interesting actually, because I tell people about some of the early social media shit that we got hit with in England, and it doesn't translate over here. Do you remember Bebo?
Yeah, man. You used to send people love, and then MySpace, you'd have a song on your landing page when people used to hit.
Yeah, that's a lost beauty, man.
Yeah, MySpace was a vibe, man.
MySpace was a vibe. Like I started doing stand up when I was 14, and that's how I got a lot of gigs, was through MySpace comedy. Just throwing up videos and stuff on there. But that landing song was like, "This is my identity."
Yeah,
right. Like,
you got to nail it.
Vibe with me. Okay. Can EU hear me? Track 4. What did I write here? I said, I say this lovingly, but this is something that you do so well once you've let the message sit that makes you think shit, because you bring such an aggressive energy to this song, to most songs, but it feels like we're rushing through this song. Like it feels like despite the lead up to the exit of Europe, we're going to get political. I feel that a lot of people maybe were quick to decide, no, I'm out. And the song, am I reading between lines a bit too finely here? But it felt like you added that little extra like change in tempo here and there to be like, oh shit, I'm getting herded along here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this period of time is definitely where the implications of that decision are now being truly felt. And, you know, that comes in a myriad of different ways. But I think like, obviously everybody who knew at the time that it would cause issues knows that, but so many people have regret for having 100%. Voted for that and having done that because of the implications now being realized. You know, like it's not just that people are worse off in their pockets, but it's the queues on the border, and it's anybody who has to travel for their work like we do, like so many do, realizing that the simple things that for no real reason have been removed from us. It was a weirdly unnecessary political game of chess at the time, which had such far-reaching implications, and they're starting to be realized now. So it felt like, you know, New England is a song about that, and this song needed to be written again because it's a different experience.
Yeah, here we are
same
now.
Thing, you know, the fastest song we've ever written, also. So it's interesting that you picked up on that tempo.
Poor old G-Mac on the hats. He's like,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, he released his little trap clip last night before Instagram and Meta went. I mean, I don't know if it's a bad thing that every now and again Facebook and Instagram's like, I can't. Because it's been down over here today.
You see, like, you know, when it crashes and you can't get on it, it's then when you realize how fucking addicted we are all to it, because you click on it, it doesn't work, and then you click on it again without realizing, and then you're like, oh shit, I know it's not working, and you have to, it kind of makes you realize,
it's
like,
proper cracky, isn't it, man? Like, you know what I mean?
It's kind of nice sometimes when it goes down. You're like, oh, fucking
hopefully
get out.
this is forever.
Yeah.
Well, I found myself like literally trying to refresh it 4 times, and it said couldn't refresh. And I'm like, I fucking know you can at some point. And why am I spending 60 seconds just like talking to my phone? I know you can do this. I know
the
you've got it.
automatic bit in your brain that's just wired to just constantly be getting that hit all the time, isn't
Even
it?
the color of the app is designed to make you addicted.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a weird old time. I mean, I'm forever jealous of bands that like made it just before all that stuff, and like the one time you would see them is when they walk out on stage or occasionally do an interview and everyone goes fucking mad,
because there was a mystique and a magic.
Now it's like you literally have to be like, fucking hell,
hey,
we're having a shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean? Like, it's fucking intense, isn't it?
We try and tread the line of, I think we're constantly being told that there's a lot more we could do with that sort of stuff, but we're just like, you know what, as long as people are coming to the gigs and are buying the album, like, if we're not that active on there, then so be it. Like, we're not chasing numbers.
It's what you said earlier, it's authenticity. Like, if we were on there doing a dance, it's like, that's not really us. And like, you know,
I couldn't think of anything worse.
We use it in a way that is authentic to us, and like, as long as people are queuing up around the corner and buying tickets, and that's what we want, you know, that's our, you know, what we need as well. Like,
if we were to get specific on the ramifications of the leaving EU, just for people that maybe don't put 2 and 2 together in terms of the math and the finance side of this, and you trying to go to Europe. So, right, the new record's out a couple of Fridays from now. You want to go and hit Europe. You're going to hit it. How has this changed cost, flow, planning in simple terms?
One massive thing now is with the Carnet, you have to have a list of every item that you're taking out there that you're using for the gigs, and then every item that you're selling. But that in itself is hard enough, because I've just been very kindly gifted a guitar from Gibson. Shout out to Gibson. I've got a new bass that I'm taking on this tour. It's not on our Carnet. So we've now got to get a brand new Carnet just to add the bass, which has a huge cost. Really expensive. So that's every single time you get a new piece of equipment. When you leave Dover to go across, you have to park up in this industrial place called Sevington, where you have to walk in a high vis and a mask on, get it stamped. You can sit there for hours, and this is before we've even left. Do you know what I mean?
And it used to just be this thing where you can just travel out, and like, I think there's the logistical side of it.
Yeah,
there's the cost increase side of it, but there's also the kind of like social side of it, 100%. Man. Like, you feel like, obviously, you know, for the most part, people realize that, like, as a musician out there, you obviously don't want that to be the case, but you're kind of marred by the reputation of the UK, you know, which there's always been a bit of that, but right now, you know, we also think it. We're also like, we know we're carrying a reputation of a fucking country that's completely fucked, but we fucking agree with it. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different reasons why it's just like, I don't know.
And it's every border. It's every border now that you cross. It's the same thing and everything. It's just become a massive ball ache. And and we've probably got the easiest part of it. I mean, I hate to think how much other stuff it's caused problems.
Oh, mate,
we've got the easy job. We can still go and do it. Yeah, we have to do a bit of paperwork and it's a bit expensive, but there's like way more to it.
Yeah, and the issues with it are more far-reaching than what just affects us. But the other thing is that, like, you know, there's one side of it that's for us, it's an issue, but like the people it really affects is like if you're starting in a band right now, you know, like that is one of the greatest casualties of all of the, you know, all of the sort of, I don't know, social issues that we see, is that like if you're trying to start out doing something now, like it's harder than ever. And like in our little microcosm of being in a band, something like that means that you're going to have a whole generation of lost artists that might have been, or, you know, it's yeah, I mean, it's a hard one, man. It's a whole podcast to basically talk about the issues that it's caused. Like,
it is, because you could to an extent, and I'm throwing a cheeky blanket statement. You could boil it down to the fact that where does art come from? It comes from a release within an individual. Why are they inspired to make that release? Is it because they've gone through good times, hard times? Well, for a lot of artists, in terms of, let's look at modern rock and roll, maybe it's born out of a bit of negativity more so. And maybe then if you've created this art that then goes, holy shit, I've got something here. I think I've got a voice. I think I am a worthy person. Then you look at this next hurdle. It's like, fuck it. How many people will say fuck it before they even push themselves, and then get stuck and then feel this eerie existence as they move and try and grow moving forward with it. It shuts doors just because a lot of people will be presumptuous in saying, oh, I've not got time for that, or no, I can't do that.
Yeah,
like, they just write it off so quickly.
Like, it's so hard, man.
It's stressful for us, and we've got an entire team of people doing it. We don't even have to worry about it, and we're still like,
if we were starting, I mean, what you go off of what you're saying, it's like you do question, like, if we were starting now, would we have been able to make it? Would we have been able to get over those hurdles? You know what I mean? Just because it is such a challenge to tour or whatever, or even just to fucking pay your rent and shit. Do you know what I mean? That's the other implication. It's like, you know, the cost of living so high that it's like things like being able to afford to do something creative as a career is just like more and more out of the question for people, you know?
Yeah. All right, let's get to track 5, Get Down. So I said the synth. We can no longer bypass the use of synthesizer on this record. I love the line, Alexa, play Elton John. Alexa, I didn't even say it wrong. But this is a really hypnotic riff in this song. Like, there's an extra layer of sludge on the guitars on this entire record that I adore. And what was the process? Has something changed, or am I remiss here? Like, the guitars seem a lot more.
Yeah, man. I think there was like, even when in the writing process, like there's a lot more of like plugging things in to the desk or the interface or whatever, and just cranking that straight in and just getting that real aggressive, fat, full range tone within stuff, and then just letting that be the basis of stuff that's very bold and very like in your face.
Probably the mix of having Dom and John on this record as well. The two of them together are like magic.
Amazing.
You know, I mean, yeah,
they're incredible.
They're in depth. Like, you should see John's range of pedals. He turned up like and filled a studio floor up with pedals, like, and we had like 10 different, all sorts of boutique amps, all mic'd up all at once, all with different. It was like a whole, you know, when we were recording the drums, we were spending like a day tuning drums for each song. Do you know what I mean? They were tuned, like, it was a whole, it was a whole step up in terms of,
and you
like,
can really hear that in the record, like the meticulous nature of the way it was made, really, like, and the end result of it, you know, especially post master, then you're listening to it like, Jesus, this, you can hear every, you know, certainly because we've been a part of the process, but you can hear every drop of sweat in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's been thought about, like, but like with Get Down, especially, like, again, that's another one one of the first songs he wrote.
I would say that's probably my favorite tune on the record.
Same as, and
it just perfectly. I mean, you've probably seen the video. It just perfectly sums up what we're all like every Friday night. That's second nightmare. We've actually got proof of it out there now, but yeah, it's just I just like the way the song just plods and plods, and then it comes to that middle eight, and it just sort of all opens up, and it's just like a nice release, and then back down to that.
And we were trying to write lots of like verses over it. Like, we were trying to write, you know, singing stuff and different melodies and blah, blah, blah. And like, none of that worked. And then it just got to a point of like, should we just try going totally freeform? Like, you know, hit up something that's like the streets, but even more free than that, you know? And then that just worked, you know? And it's a challenge. Like, when we were writing it, it was a challenge to get that take done in time for the chorus to hit, but finding the points of it and finding the meter of it and the timing of it was so interesting, and like all the better, because like you say, it's my favorite too, that and Artillery, and it's like you do something a bit different, and when it pays off, it's a sweet feeling, man.
I like that those are your favorites, because those are 2 of 3 on the album that really hypnotize. Like, the repetitive riff nature really just sticks you and plants you to let everything else grow around. So yeah, it's then you follow up with 999, that is just a fucking ferocious gut punch of truth.
We needed a big fucking hit of like, there's so much shit going on with the police at the minute. We just like had no choice to write about it, and we also wanted a track on the album that lent back to our old roots of like really like sticking it to it in a less cheesy way of saying it.
No, and serving it up in a way that feels like,
yeah, you know, the way we
feel
about
punk
it.
as well.
So when you're listening to that song, or when you're at a gig and you're going through that, you can feel it. You know what I mean? There's no other way of describing it, really. Yeah,
it's another one where the production or the way it's performed reflects the lyrics, and it reflects the subject matter.
We played that song the other day for the first time, and the middle eight riff hit so hard that we both went so hard that Ben forgot to do the solo because we were riffing on the
We
riff.
were just looking at each other.
We never played it before. Going mad, and we were like, "Oh, the solo!" Like,
yeah, man. Like, honestly.
yeah. So it's weird having so much fun playing a song which has got such a serious subject, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's that you know, from an audience perspective, it is that release of a message that, you know, people can, you know, relate to and resonate with. Being able to have a release that's really heavy with it is all part of the therapy of a live gig, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess.
And it's just nice, like, you know, it's not, they won't let us play it on the live session we've got coming up. It won't get played on the radio, and that's kind of even more, makes us love it even more. Do you know what I mean? If you don't want to spread the message, we will. Do you know what I mean? Someone's got to fucking do it.
Isn't that the wonderful game that you play with making music and being backed by conglomerates? It's delicate. It's delicate.
Exactly.
You know, like delicate.
You know.
Yeah, but you know, it's just like that's a whole other podcast. Track 7, Subaru. Again, Kevin MacLeod, because call me Kevin MacLeod because she's such a grand design. Fuck you, Jack. That is too funny.
That's got to be like one of the top. That's sort of standout lyric for me on the album. Whenever anyone hears that, they go, "Yeah, fair play."
Yeah, mate.
Because for the Canadians and Americans that watch this, that aren't privy to the fact that Grand Designs is a show in England that's been going for a long time. Kevin MacLeod is the host. He's a fan of architecture. I think that's pretty fucking clear. And these stunning creations. But
I think Kevin MacLeod is probably due a sort of transatlantic, you know, success after this. And depending on how this album goes, he could have like
shipping
Grand Designs US. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Could be on.
Here we are, Grand Designs, Vancouver Island. But what is with the Subarus? I didn't realize they were such a big issue.
Well, it's just one of the. I mean, actually, do you know what, man? Like, recently, it's even gotten even worse. Like, there's people who live around here on Wellington Square, like near where we live, yeah. And it's and there's people who all night have to listen to like Subarus and motorbikes ripping past with all the silencers off, and it's become actually like a bit of a thing. Do you know what I mean? So,
right.
And whether it's a chicken and egg between the song and the Subaru, or whether it's, you know, who knows? But it's actually becoming more of an issue right now.
It was also nice to just get to that part in the record where we've just gone through some really heavy topics and give the listener a bit of a moment to refresh and just have a bit of fun again. And it's quite a like happy-go-lucky beat. And I think like with a lot of really nice intricate guitar parts that I love that you've done on that, all the little offbeaty stabs and the little licks. If you listen to it, there's constantly little things going on. So yeah, just a moment of relief and having a bit of fun with the record.
Because you've all been there as well. Do you know what I mean? Your girlfriend's parents hate you when you're a teenager.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like literally, like
you're just trouble. You're trouble before you walked in.
But like him.
That's a great point, Eddie, because I wrote down for Subaru and for Angeline, that's in a couple of songs, that this is where the more aggressive panning in the stereo field becomes apparent. Like in this song with the little guitars, left, right, they go hard, then they go more central on the left and right side. In Angeline, that we'll get to, there are these really cool, subtle, like electronic tom hits that are really wide.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. But with Subaru, I love that you mentioned that point, because that's a big deal with how these last 2-3 songs start to go. Like this album, and I love that you also touched on, okay, bring it back to something more gentle and more comedic. But the structure of this record is like this conversation. We've been talking for 28 minutes. I was checking, like after 10 minutes, we've covered so much ground. I was like, we've been going for 20 minutes, and it was 9 minutes when I looked to my left. So that's what,
a lot of stuff.
But that's what this record feels like. Like it just propels you through it. It's got such fucking aggressive truth that you just all of a sudden you realize, oh fuck, Jesus, the ride's over. Can we go again? But with Zombie Nation, this could be a whole other thing. Like, you know, I've got in all caps, obviously, Suggs, Shaun of the Dead. Where the fuck do we start? Because this is like me growing up. The first instrument I picked up when I was like at Crudwell Primary School in the music fair was a trumpet. And so I grew up a trumpet player, and like my dad was like, well, you got to know fucking Madness. And I remember getting given the cassettes. I remember saving up to go to Woolworths and buy the greatest hit collection that was 4 fucking CDs strong, because that's how fucking big Madness are.
I've still got it, the one with the boots on the front.
Yes, yeah, it's just under my desk here.
You know,
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Edgar Wright, Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, two of my favorite movies of all fucking time. There's so many amazing things combined here. This is where we need to splinter into a variety, and then I'll throw it to you two. Splinter off into, creation of song. How do we approach Suggs? How do we, the Spine Farm team and our team that Spine Farm allowed us to cultivate and continue to grow and then make one of our best fucking music videos of all time for the band so far. Like, there's so many things. The Shaun of the Dead references, the production on it is so clean. Like, where do you want to start?
It was kind of like, I don't know. So the two-tone thing for me was like a massive part of my life. I used to, funnily enough, play in like a sort of two-tone band way years before all of this. And my dad first took me to see Madness when I was like 5. And then we were fortunate enough to support the Specials in Margate at Dreamland just before Terry Hall passed away. Got to meet him. It was amazing, you know, life-changing. And then as he passed, we sort of all got together and were like, you know what, it was
on the night. It was on the night.
On the night he passed.
Yeah.
There's so much relevance to the music and the message behind that two-tone movement that we felt it was right to try and create a song in our own lane that sort of paid homage to what they'd done. And then I think I showed you a beat.
Oh, you did? It was Freddie.
Showed a Madness tune, and we were like, oh, let's try and make a beat like that. And then it sort of snowballed, didn't it?
Yeah, man. And then once that was, you know, the song was done, it was like, you know, we were, you know, Spine Farm was saying to us, like, you know, any collaborations that you'd be thinking of, like, and we were like, blah, this person, Suggs, and our A&R was like, oh, I actually know his management, and got in touch. I mean, they tried to get the song off us for their album.
Yeah. And then it just so happened that Jack had gone to see Suggs DJ in our town a few months before we'd even written the song, and they met and got on like a house on fire.
He was born in Hastings.
So it just sort of all happened, and then the next thing you know, Jack's on the phone to me like, don't freak out, but Suggs is up for doing the tune. And we were like, what the fuck? Next thing you know, he rolls up to our local studio, and we're just there recording him doing like the
we're all looking at each other like,
is this even happening? It's such a fucking cool dude to hang out with, man. He's just like, just
everything you'd want.
Yeah, everything you want. Yeah, well up for telling all the cool stories and just having a laugh. And then
he's always holding court, you know, in a room. And,
in terms of the video, we've been working with the same director and producer since like album 1. So shout out Suchak and Dan Matthews, which is Ramshackle Productions. And they have done all our videos, and we were like, look, this is going to be the big one. We've been planning it for months and months and months, and they just went all out, man. We had like the makeup artist from Doctor Who down there. We had like anything you could imagine that you could have been. And we had all the most amazing extras. The whole town was involved. Yeah. There was a time where we had like 40 zombies walking around in the town, and people would, it was
causing a buzz.
People were putting it on the fucking Facebook and everything, going like, what the hell is going on? And then obviously, Suggs was completely like just into it. And I mean, you can tell in the video, he was like zombied up, gets his head chopped off. Like,
when it's just his head trying to get the beer, man.
He was on the stage dancing with us, and we all had a few beers together, and it was a really magical night, man. So it's just like a weird, it feels trippy talking about it because of how much of an influence him and his band have had on British culture and music everywhere. So it's just an honor to be working with him, and a cool thing, man. We're just just buzzing about it. We love the tune.
You're gonna make a ska tune if it's co-signed by him as well. That's pretty like,
you've got away with it. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like at theatre school for me, like our initiation dance was to a Madness song, and just so many memories throughout my childhood of just madness. And I'd get home from work and Dad would be like, "One step beyond." Welcome home, son. But that scene when he gets his head chopped off, and I could just imagine all of you stood there just looking at him like, this is Suggs with his fucking head knocked off. Jack just decapitated Suggs. This is fucking so good.
The mannequin that had the head that got knocked off when it was wearing his jacket, and I just saw Suggs like sitting behind it, watching his own head get fucking knocked.
And it was hilarious because obviously we had to put a wig on the mannequin, and our photographer just so happens to be a barber. So Suggs is sat in a chair opposite him, and he's having to cut this fucking wig to try and make it look like Suggs' head, like the whole day, just full of crack-ups bits like that, man. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Amazing. Okay, we're on to the home straight because you've been doing this for 7 hours now, and I got to go work in 20 minutes.
Collectively, as a band, we're not too bad. We're good. Luckily, there's 4 of us.
It has definitely been saving the best till last.
Yeah. This has been a pleasure, man.
Oh, thank you. Angeline, do I dare say this is a love ballad?
It is indeed. It is indeed. And another sort of nostalgic nod to, like, you know, the pain of young love. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Well, we're just about young enough to still sing about it.
Yeah, that is it, man.
Love will forever be young. I'm sure someone's fucking said that at some point.
Hey, well, they have now.
My man.
But this is where I do want to get into the nitty gritty of the production, because there's a lot. Like, I love that you've got that little synth doing its little weird shit just to the left of you, never goes right. You've got those electronic tom hits, or whether they're just tom that have been tweaked a bit, that are bouncing around hard left, center, right to the right, full right. Like, it's
pretty sure it's fully electronic kit on this song.
Yeah, it is. It's probably one of the more spacious approaches to production that we did on this one, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's interesting, you know. It's like a lot of stuff is quite heavily layered, and with this one, it was interesting to kind of see how spacious we could go sonically, especially as it's kind of a lighter tone.
And trying to have that sweet sounding music with a bit of a not so sweet sounding lyrics, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it, man.
It's just that creating that juxtaposition.
But still there's a lift, still there's a riff to it, you know, and that was important, that we were like, you know, this is on the lighter end side of what we're doing, but it still wants to be based in riffs, you know what I mean? And have that part of our DNA included, you know.
How big of a did it feel like it was a risk, this sort of song? Because it is a different energy of Kid Kapichi. Does it allude to the future of Kid Kapichi, or is it just like in this moment?
I would say no. I think it came at the end of the record, and we just wanted to try something different. I think we had. I think if you were talking about where we're going to go from here on, I think we're going to go like down a much heavier route. But it was just nice to throw something in. Yeah, just a bit of a curveball, and I think like knowing our fans, this is going to secretly be like a low key favorite from everyone.
And it definitely falls into the category of that exploration of the goalposts of what our sound can be. You know, like for every artillery in 999, the other goalposts on the end of that are going right. Well, what's the lighter end of what we're doing, and that's probably at the extremity of that. But when you listen to the record, you really do explore the wide net of it, and that's what this record is to us, man. And that's actually a really cool bit of self-discovery, you know what I mean, from our side anyway.
Well, yeah, because it's like when I've had lots of very passionate discussions about music the last 25 years, but one thing that I've always subscribed to as an individual is that when you look at a discography of a band, and okay, you've got those first 2 albums that pigeonholed in your mind like, this is what this fucking band does to me. Then they try something on record 3 and you're like, this does not connect to me. Half of it does, half of it doesn't. Then maybe they bring in something a bit different in the 4th record. Hang on a second. There's less of what I originally fell in love with this band for. What I look at it as is building the ultimate fucking set. Like the ultimate set that takes you through and transports you through all emotions, all fucking variants of distortion, whatever it might be, energy, journey. Like, it's about the whole thing. I remember, like, for me growing up, I got in the one that comes to my mind right now is the massive debate about Funeral for a Friend back in my emo days, and when they would bring in strings, and I was like, no guys, if they bring those strings to Reading Festival, they're never gonna have seen anything there. It was a really special moment. So I look at Angeline as like, okay, I throw it out to you and you can swap back. No, it's not a direction thing. It's an expansion thing. But that's what's so essential, is that all bands feel that they don't have to be in the box that they feel others have put them in, because it's the box that they control and fucking bend and shape and remold every day the best they want to. So it doesn't matter.
I think we're fortunate in that respect, that we always kind of like, we carry our message through what we're saying, and we don't always have to have a up-tempo, heavily distorted, angry thing going on for you to get where we're at. And if we want to dive into some other shit, we will. And
we feel free to do that.
Yes, like, no one's really telling us what we have to do, so we're super lucky, man. So we just make the most of it, you know.
Yeah, I guess where we were independent, like, until, you know, our second album was made by the time we were getting involved with Spine Farm, it's meant that people were kind of going, all right, we want to get involved with what you've got up and running, which has given us a lot of license artistically on this record to just be like, you guys do what you need to do, and we're really lucky in that because not everybody gets that.
No.
Do you know what I mean? A lot of people have a lot of fucking, you know, sticking the oar in, and yeah, our team have been really, really good for that. Like they've let us do our thing, you know.
This is going to be a lighters up sing along moment for sure, Angeline. Like, and I would be interested to see if it gets paired live with Oliver Twist or not, because Oliver Twist, like, Houston, we have a problem. Like that is just going to be like the most ultimate sing along
Jack's
song.
voice goes down on tour, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, fuck. I'll send you a sample. No, but like the guitar tones in this to start are just so fucking righteous. Jack covered in that reverb. For some reason, I wrote down, it's like when you open a fridge and you're surprised to see a human being inside of it. Like that's what the sonic field feels like here. Like it's, you open the fridge, you're not disappointed. You're actually quite enamored by what you found in the fridge, even though he's eaten everything that's in the fridge and he's going to tell you there's a problem now. But like, it's just the warmth of the guitars in this song, really, and that includes bass, Eddie. I'm not leaving you out. But the warmth I wrote down, it tickles my soul. There's such charisma in the fucking takes of these guitar parts in this song.
It's cool, man. It's kind of like, you know, throwback into where we would do stuff that had a bit more of a sort of almost circus tone or a theatrical tone to it in like EPs, and, you know, even tracks like Tar Pit off album 2. It's like we do have that side to us, and it's really nice for that to be represented on this record, like something that's a bit more in the kind of like almost classical style of harmony, you know what I mean, and shit.
No, I love the drum sound on this one as well, man. It's almost like, again, like you say, that hip hop beat. G-Mac just sat in there and just cooked it, like I'm pretty sure in one take, like, and it was just like, and then it goes into that, you got that expansion in that heavy mid late as well, man, which we always love having, like.
And it's cool. It's like, again, it's probably in a different direction to Angeline and the darker stuff. It's probably another goalpost of like, well, this is kind of weird for us, but it's part of our sound, and it's something that we'll always be keen to explore that part of us, you know.
Yeah, and when you go Angeline to Oliver Twist and then Jimmy in closing, such a beautiful tribute. And I mean, Jimmy is someone that is close to you guys and not me, but I feel a lot closer to him because of the performance in that from Jack and the story.
It's interesting that you say that. We were talking to someone earlier who said the same thing, because like, you know, when you write such a specific song in tribute to someone, like, it's, you know, people who don't know that person, you know, you're going, oh, well, maybe people won't get this, but the song's on there for us and in tribute, and for him, in tribute to that, and to immortalize, you know, his memory in this record. But the fact that you listen to it and you feel a connection to it as well is really amazing, and someone had said it earlier as well, you know what I mean?
And like you say, with Jack's vocal take, that was a one take thing again, and like you can,
that was written on the day and then recorded on the day.
Yes,
and that
every
was one
fucking time we listen to it when we're all together in the van. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, you can't.
But it's beautiful, and we're super proud that we put it on the record, man. There was never even any discussion. We were like, this is 100% a lovely way to end the record. So
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Well, the energy was palpable, and it's not to be macabre, but everyone's experienced loss in some regard. I mean, for me right now, I'm having a really hard time because one of my best friends has got an incurable brain cancer, and it's like I don't know how long there is. I don't know if it's a few weeks or a few months, but I know that contact is minimum and that we won't see each other again because, like I texted him the other day, like life is so delicate, and if I was to say or ask anything of you, then that's serving me and not you. You have to serve yourself. He's going to choose to do what he's going to do, and I back that. And I'm going to miss him immensely. But that's
so sorry to hear that, man. Fucking hope you're all right, man.
Well, I appreciate that. But that's where we can connect with a song like Jimmy, because we've all got a Jimmy. And it's just whether we've had. I remember when my grandmother died years and years ago, and when she had like a flu, and she'd been through so much, and I was like, she'll beat the flu. I mean, this is like 17 years ago. There's no way the fucking cold's going to get her. And she had asked all the grandkids to write a goodbye letter, and I was the only one that didn't write it. And then when I'd actually got through the process of the funeral, et cetera, and all that goes with that, which took time after she passed, then that night I wrote what was a poem that I turned into a song that I recorded later that week as a way to say to my grandfather for what would have been their 50th anniversary. And so things come to you. So that's my mind accumulates all these memories. And then I listen to a song like Jimmy, and I'm sat here at this desk crying 2 nights ago, dude, fuck me. Like, this is
We're the same
It's
as us,
special.
man. There's a catharsis to creating the song like you just said you created and creating a song like Jimmy, and there's also a catharsis to listening to it as well, you know, and like, you know, yeah. I mean, the fact that it's connected and resonated in that way is like,
it means a lot, man.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
So that concludes our going through There Goes the Neighborhood out March 15th. That's just
go and listen to it now.
10 out of 10. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Now,
sounds amazing. Yeah.
some cheeky side hustle here is that actually March 21st, my parents have paid for the three of us, Jodie, my partner, her son Harley, who just turned 10. We're coming to England for 3 weeks for my birthday.
Wow.
And that's when you're smack in the middle of this fucking tour. And
Which gig do you want to come to?
Well, this is the problem, is we're going to be based in Kent, where my parents moved sort of near Tunbridge a few years back. So I'm eyeing up, because because these will be 18 plus, won't they? So we can't bring Harley.
Some of them aren't. So what? For example, I think London, it's 8 plus as long as they're accompanied by an adult.
Oh my God!
In the balcony, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think, because I was looking it up for my little cousins. But I think the White Rock on the 22nd of March, is that before you come?
Oh, that's when we land.
That's when you land. And then I think Brighton's 14 plus. Some of the slightly bigger venues where it's more of an actual genuine, you know,
like an O2 or something.
So hit us up, drop us a line, man, and we'll work coming out.
Always more than
we'll sort you all out. It'll be wicked to hang out.
To a show, man.
It would be really special. I mean, like Harley, like he knows every song. So like we know every single song. Like I have around me on the desk here. You know, whenever I speak to bands and they say what a band you need to know about, I show them your band.
Mate. Yeah, man.
I've ordered way too many of the new record to use as contest. As always.
Thank you so much, man. It means the world. Like,
oh mate,
we're really happy with how it's all going. Like, fingers crossed. But it's getting near crunch time. What are we on now? The 5th, 10 days. She's out.
This tour feels like. I mean, we were saying earlier. This tour feels like a milestone. It feels like one to enjoy. You know, like
we got it all.
That's it, man. You know, doing like the proper venues, got the bus, everything. I think we're going to try and make sure we don't blink and miss it and take in every moment.
Yeah, just really absorb it, because like we got to the end of the run last year. We've been on the road, like we did like 20 festivals. We've done like 2 or 3 support tours. We was in America for 6 weeks. And we got back and we were all like, right.
Did that even happen?
Yeah. Just like need to just like really take it in. We are known to have a few drinks,
a few lime and sodas.
Yeah, exactly. Before you know it, you wake up and you're home and it's like, fuck, man. So
we're gonna try
looking forward to being healthy and enjoying it and partying when we should.
That's the plan anyway.
And the last thing I need to clarify here is I was speaking with Jack a few months back about I've now made a little documentary on what was that to try and help, you know, continue the growth of it. And I said, would you be willing to record a little 10, 15 second like thing to throw in there? And he said, yeah, we'll do it when we go to the Arsenal game. We'll do it with Eddie and the crew when we go to the Arsenal game. And then I responded to Jack and said, oh, fuck, I think we've met a crossroads because I'm a Tottenham guy.
Oh shit.
And then
this podcast is over.
Yeah, exactly. And then I never heard from him again. I didn't realize you were fucking gooners.
He's got a lot on his plate.
That's it, man.
Jack's a diehard footy fan. I enjoy it, and I've always supported Arsenal, but I'm not like, I don't watch it.
Yeah, I exist on the periphery, but like we all went up.
We all enjoyed it. Yeah, we watched England at Wembley. That was amazing,
mate. England,
we had a box up there.
Absolute screamers, man. It was fucking.
That was a vibe. That was a vibe. Yeah, international football's different, isn't it? You can all get behind it, but
that's it.
Yeah, no hatred from our side, bro.
It's all good.
We'll have a word with him for you.
Yeah, cheeky bastard. All right, well, look, I just been such a thrill to catch up and to properly get to know you a bit more, Eddie. Man. But thank you both. It's been a real fucking delight. But as I always say, like, I'm not saying what I don't mean. Like, genuinely, you are in, and you are one of the most exciting rock bands on this planet, and you are the future, in my opinion, of what modern rock should be and is and should be represented by. Like, you've got all these big kingpins. It's time for those pins to fall and for more expanse to be, more space to be created. And Kid Kapichi are leading that charge, taking fucking Dead Pony on tour with you and the Scots. Really fucking true choice. So
Cool.
yeah, I'm just so thankful for
Those
the time
guys are
that I
amazing.
get.
Can't wait to be on tour with them, and also Dumb Boys, who are very good friends of ours, like who probably brought out the best album last year. Like, and we saw Dead Pony at a few festivals, and we were like, well, they're coming on tour with us.
Yeah.
And then we just so happened to get on with all of them like a house on fire. Like, we ended up in this fucking bar in Glasgow till like 5 a.m, and we were like, do you want to come on tour? They were like, yeah.
Yeah.
We probably should have asked our management first, but anyway, it's done, and then
That's it, man.
it's happy how things go. But yeah, can't wait to get out on the road with those guys, and can't wait to see you at one of the shows, man. If you're game.
Yeah.
Man, 100%.
We'll try and shift everything. It's very rare that we're over there, so we're going to do what we can to get there. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
All right, lots of love, guys. Go and fucking chill.
Mate,
Thank you
you're
so
a
much.
diamond, man.
So lovely to speak, man.
Speak
Take it
to you
easy,
soon.
brother.
Bye.
Bye, man.
Bye.
Oh my God. So fucking good. Come on. There Goes the Neighborhood, March 15th. It's released the third record from Kid Kapichi. I am now going to quickly change my work outfit and go and sling some fucking apples and bananas at work. But if you've watched this the whole way through, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you're new to this, you can discover more at whatwasthatradio.com. And that was just fucking sweet. Whatever you're doing the rest of your day, and as always, please look after yourself and hope there's some fun and smiles involved in it too, because we've got to cherish that positive. Until next time. Cheerio.